department, there's about 3 or 4 folks doing all the characters. We get drawings of the characters that the art department puts together, and then we sculpt them in oil-based clay. The oil-based clay is just the easiest because it's just very versatile and can be smoothed out with alcohol, and it has to be a soft medium, something pliable that when it's molded, we can use a hard mold, plaster it, and it won't rip up the mold, and we can put the soft foam rubber into the same mold and pull it out.
Each bucket has an armature inside it, which is basically a ball and socket, which enables you to move a bucket like these.
We usually get a sculpture or a drawing, front view and side view, and then we'll determine where the joints are supposed to be. Usually the joints are one of 2 different types. There's ball joints and there's hinges. Ball joints are like in his neck here. You can move it, almost like a universal joint, any amount of range. And those are good for general purpose joints. And hinges are really good for like down here in hips and in his main body because they can be tightened up really strong.
Now that was the Wolfman armature they were showing, but talk about Jack's armature, because it was...
Jack, really, the challenge with the Jack armature, we struggled with that in the beginning because, as most of the armatures are fairly, maybe a ½ inch or whatever, the 1/4 inch thick, they're pretty substantial. Jack is so thin that it was really a challenge for the animators not to break his little arm. And Mike, you animated with Jack, did you not?
Yeah. Well, as far as the design goes, yeah, I remember, Henry first showing us the designs of Tim, and he draws these tiny little feet. And, these characters, to move them around, we have to drill the set and tie them down. You gotta have a ball joint to support that weight. And the armature department was amazing because they were able to get a pretty small ball joint, but still not quite as small as Tim's drawing. But it was just an incredible piece of art they created.
We had Tom Sanneman, who was the lead armature designer, and he, with the Star Wars film, seen it all, done it all, but this was his greatest challenge. He figured out a way to do it in the Jack's tiny computer, actually, machine bits of metal. It was, but Tim's extreme, beautiful designs and going for it, not just saying, well, we'll put big feet on and ankles because that's what stop motion is. No, it was pushing the medium to try to follow the design. We found ways to do it. I think I mentioned Sally. She's a little more substantial than Jack, more bigger than Jack. She needed a little more support of the ankles, otherwise she wouldn't have been able to walk on her own. And it took a little convincing, but I got Tim to buy off on, we'll put socks as long as they're striped, he said. And the socks were able to disguise her slightly thicker.
It's amazing. Well, I brought another clip along of those puppets when they are all dressed and have their wardrobe on, and you can see how small they are and how difficult it is to move them around. And you'll once again see Mike Belzer.
We'll just be testing 3 or 4 times to make sure we like the action. And when the animator and the director feel comfortable with the acting that's going on, the overlapping of action between characters, then it's like, okay, now go for the hero shot. But in 6 days, something might happen, like a light might get jarred or the camera might slip. And when you're playing it back at speed, you're going to notice that, and that sometimes is a shot killer.
It's not like a cell animated film where if you have a little problem with the frame, you can go back and erase that line, redraw it, and then rephotograph it. If you have a problem with the frame, you have to rephotograph the entire thing. So you've always got that sort of pressure on top of your head that, while you're in the middle of a 400 frame shot that's taken 10 days to shoot, it's the 9th day and something goes wrong.
There goes Chris.